to your Thursday morning maths lesson. Okay, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be continuing with our topic of multiplication and division, and today we're going to be calculating multiplications by using our 2 times tables or skip counting in twos. So what I'd like you to do now is I know we're going to be working in twos today, but during our counting practice, I would like you to skip count in threes from the number 33. So remember all of those facts that you know about the 3 times table. Remember, you just keep counting 3 more from 33, okay? Keep going to a number that you feel comfortable with. So everybody, here is our big picture. What I'd like you to do is maybe pause the video and have a little chat with the people around you about the maths that you can see within our big picture. For example, I can see that there are 3 tables in my picture that have children sat around them. So I know that there are 1, 2, 3 groups, and in each of those groups there are 10 children because there are 10 children sat down. So I've got 3 groups of 10, and I know that that is equal to 30 because I know 3 times 10 is equal to 30. Now your turn. Have a go at pausing the video and talk about the maths that you can see. Okay, so now it's time for the Subitising part of our lesson. Please keep your eyes on the screen and count the dots that you can see. At the end, we will review each of them to see if you got them correct. First of all, how many green dots can you see? Now, how many red dots can you see? How many green dots can you see in this one? And how many hearts can you see in the next picture? So now it's time to review. If we look at the first picture, we will see that there were 2 green dots. So if you said 2, you would be correct. In the second picture, we were asking you to look for the red dots. If you said 3, then you'd be correct. The third picture, we were again asking you to look for the green dots. And I can see 2 there and 2 there. So that means that 2 and 2 is equal to 4 because double 2 is 4. Brilliant work. And in the final one, we were asking you to spot those hearts. Now I can see in that picture there are 1, 2, 3 hearts. So if you said 3, you would be correct. Now you should be very familiar with our key vocabulary for this topic by now. Remember, you can use it throughout the lesson when you are describing or explaining your mathematical thinking. Let's have a go at saying some of our key vocabulary today. My turn, your turn. Multiply. Groups of. Twos. Skip count. Brilliant. So remember, use these throughout the lesson. So here is today's do now. You might want to complete this alongside me. Okay, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing 2 things. The first thing is we need to find the answers to each of the equations, and then we're going to be using our symbols to describe whether the answers are more than, less than, or equal to each other. Okay, let's look at the first one then. So we've got 10 plus 4. Have a little think and maybe write it down now. What is 10 plus 4? Okay, I'm going to write the answer on now, so you should have written it down already. The answer to 10 plus 4 is 14. Brilliant. If you got that right, well done. If not, please pop it into the box there now or write it down on your piece of paper. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to work out the next one. So the next one is 10 times 4. So if we were counting in our tens, if we were skip counting in our tens, then we would use our fingers to do this. 10, 20, 30, 40. Brilliant. So the answer is 40. Now, we need to decide whether 14 is more than, less than, or equal to the number 40. Remembering that when we write the more than sign, I'll do an example for you now. If something is more than another number, we always make sure that the symbol is facing this way. So you can see here that the symbol is open on the biggest number. So here, the number 8 is bigger than the number 2, isn't it? So my symbol is pointing with the direction of being open towards the number 8 because that is the biggest number, okay? So let's have a look at the top. If it was the smaller number, so for example, if we had the number 8 here and the number 12 there, not the number 2, then we know that 8 is smaller than 12, so it's less than 12. So the direction of the symbol would be the other way round, because look again, that open side is always pointing in the direction of the biggest number, okay? So bearing this in mind, I want you to think about now, is 14 more than, less than, or equal to the number 40, okay? And you can go ahead and pop that symbol in now. Okay, I'm going to pop my symbol in because I know that the number 14 is less than the number 40. So please make sure that you've got that written down somewhere, and if you haven't yet done it or you haven't got the right answer, then this is the perfect opportunity for you to fix it. Okay, off you go. I'm also going to leave you a little bit of time now to have a go at doing the next one independently. So we've got 2 times 6, so find the answer to 2 times 6, and then we've got 2 plus 6 as well. So you've got to find both of the answers to those equations, and then you will put in the symbol more than, less than, or equal to, okay? You might want to pause the video so you can have a go at doing this. Is our number line. Let's practice counting in our twos using this number line. Okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Well done, everybody. We've practiced skip counting in our twos. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to see some images on the PowerPoint. What I would like you to do is I would like you to count along with the images. I'll do the first one for you. 2, 4, carry on. 'Excellent, well done if you counted in your twos up to 24. Now let's think about these questions. What is the value of each of the groups? Inside each of the group, how many dots are there? See if you can count them now. Excellent, well done if you said 2. The value of each group is 2. You try to say that. Excellent. Now, how many groups are there? What I would like you to do now is I would like you to count each of the groups. Off you go. Well done if you said 12. There are 12 equal groups of 2. You try saying that. One more time. There are 12 equal groups of 2. Your turn. Brilliant. Now I want you to think now. what do you notice about the numbers in the 2 times tables? So what do you notice about them? Well done if you said that they all either are or end in an even number. And well done if you notice that the pattern is always 2, 4, 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. Well done. We learnt that when we were learning about even numbers, didn't we? Okay, now we're going to look at the equations for each of these equal groups of 2. Okay, so here's the first one. The multiplication equation is 1 times 2. There is one group of 2 here, and that equals 2. But we know that multiplication is commutative, so we know that we can swap those numbers around, and it's also 2 times 1, which is equal to 2. There are 2 counters in one group, okay? I'm now going to go through the slides and you can notice the multiplication equations for each of the pictorial representations. Why don't you try to guess what the multiplication equations would be for this one? Here we've skipped forward. Let's think about what this would look like as a multiplication equation. Think about the amount of groups that you can see. Think about the amount of counters or red dots in each of the groups. And think about how many red dots there are altogether. This will help you to write your multiplication equations. Go ahead and pause the video and you might want to try that now. Okay, let's reveal the answer. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups, and in each of the groups there are 2 red dots. So that's 6 times 2. Now let's count the counters. I'm going to count them in my 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that means 6 times 2 equals 12 is going to be our multiplication equation. Let's check. Brilliant. Well done if you got that one correct. And we know that there's another multiplication that we could have done because multiplication is commutative. If you haven't done so already, try writing that down now. We know that 6 times 2 is equal to 12. So we also know that 2 times 6 is equal to 12. Brilliant. Okay, let's carry on. Let's see if you can work this one out by yourself. Just remember to pause the video as I will be revealing the answer when you click back on. So here we've got 10 equal groups of 2, which is equal to 20. I hope that you are now beginning to see how you can find the groups and find the amounts inside the groups to help you to write your multiplication equations. Now, if we know that 10 times 2 is equal to 20, then we also know 2 times 10 is equal to 20. I hope you're beginning to notice some patterns. Let's have a go at this one. First of all, work out the amount of groups, work out the amount in the group, and then you'll be able to count how many there are all together. Pause the video so you can have a try independently. Okay, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 groups of 2. And I know that if I count in my 2s, I will be able to find the answer. So 12 times 2 is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So 12 times 2 equals 24. But we also know that 2 times 12 also equals 24. Okay. Okay, what I would like you to do now then is I would like you to take this opportunity to pause the video, okay? And I would like you to engage within the talk task. So what you're going to do is you're going to read each of the equations. I'll just underline one of the equation box so you know what I'm talking about, okay? So here are our equations. So what I'd like you to do is read the equation out. Then you're going to practice skip counting on the number line. So for example, if we were looking at 1 times 2, we would start from 0 and then we would say 1 times 2 is 2. We've took one jump because it's 1 times 2 jumps, isn't it? So 2 skips along that line, okay? And then what you're going to do once you've practiced skip counting on the number line, you will then find the matching picture. Now I can see, oh, let's have a look at these pictures. I can see it right away. It's this one here because there are 2 straws in the picture, okay? So that's what I would like you to do now. So please pause the video and you might want to try 1 or 2 of those and really practice counting in your 2s. I'll leave that up there for you. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to pause your video now. Okay, let's develop your learning that little bit further. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at some pictures and we're going to decide what the multiple equation would look like. Okay, so here we have plates of carrots. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 plates of carrots with 2 on each. So our multiplication equation would be 4 times 2, and we need to find out how many that's equal to. So you can either count in your 2s for each of the plates, or you could just count how many carrots there are all together in the picture. I'm going to choose to count in my 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. And the answer is 8. Now we can take this even further because if we know that 4 times 2 is equal to 8, then we also know that 2 times 4 is also equal to 8 because we are smarties and we understand the idea of multiplication being commutative. Okay, let's move to the next one. In this picture, we have, in fact, you tell me, how many plates do we have? Well done if you said 6. And how many carrots are on each plate? Brilliant. Well done if you spotted that there were 2. So what do we think the multiplication equation will look like for this one? Well, there are 6 plates with 2 carrots on each. So it's 6 times 2, okay? So 6 times 2. Now I find that when I'm doing my multiplication tables, I'm not very good at my 6s. I'm much better at my 2s. And I can do that because multiplication is commutative. 6 times 2 is the same as doing 2 times 6. So I can work that out really, really easily, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count in my 2 times tables because I find that easier and that will help me to find my answer. Count along with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Brilliant. 6 times 2 is equal to 12. And if we know that 6 times 2 is equal to 12, we also know that we will get the same answer for 2 times 6 because it's just the same. The calculation is just a little bit different because the numbers have been switched around. Okay, let's develop our learning even further now. Now this is really going to help you with your independent activity today, so listen carefully. Okay, this is our question. If I buy 5 sweets and each of them cost 2p. How much have I spent? So I'm going to go ahead and draw my sweets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now my sweets all cost 2p each. So that one costs 2p, that one costs 2p, this one does, and the final two cost 2p too. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I need to work out how much I have spent all together, okay? So I need to count how much this would cost. So I'm going to do 2, add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2. But it's easier to do 2 times something. What am I timesing it by? 2p times something. What am I timesing it by? Well done if you said 5, because that's the amount of sweets. Excellent. But I'm not going to put 5p because it's not pence that I'm spending it on. I'm not spending 2p on 5p, am I? I'm spending 2p on 5 sweeties. So I'm doing 2 times 5. So let's count that now. Let's total the cost. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Excellent. 10. Now, I do need to remember to put my pence in here because that's the amount of money that I have spent on my sweeties. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, now this time we need to buy 8 sweets that each cost 2p. Okay, I'm not going to draw this one out. You can do this one. Okay, so draw 8 sweeties and then underneath each one place a 2p. Now you may want to pause the video for a second while you do this. What we're looking for now is we're looking for us to write the multiplication equation. So we've got 2p and we're going to times that 2p by 8 sweeties, aren't we? So we're going to do 2 times 8, okay? Counting your 2's now to see how much this would cost altogether, just like we did on the previous question. Well done if you said 16. That is the correct answer, 16p. Brilliant, you're really getting the hang of this. Okay, let's move to our final one before I set you up for your independent task. Oh, let's look at what this one would be. If you need to draw it out again, please feel free to do that. So this time we're buying 11 sweets and each of them costs 2p. So you might want to again pause the video, draw your 11 sweets and then draw 2p underneath each one. Okay? You should notice that you've got 11 sweeties and 11 2p. Okay? Now I'm going to write the equation. Write it with me. We've got 2p times by or multiplied by 11 sweeties this time. Okay? What I would like you to do now is I would like you to calculate that. So if you're doing it with your picture, then you might want to count in your 2's, putting your finger underneath each one, or you could even cross off each of the 2p once you've counted. I'm going to do this, I'm going to calculate it in my head because I know a special trick. When I times anything by 11, I know that the answer is just the number twice, isn't it? Okay. So for example, if I was timesing 3 by 11, the answer would be 33. If I was timesing 6 by 11, the answer would be 66. If I was timesing 8 by 11, the answer would be 88. So what do you think the answer would be here? Well done if you said 22. Good job. 22 pence. Fantastic. Okay. So for your independent task today, what I would like you to do is I would like you to fill out the multiplication equation for the pictures at the top of the page, and then at the bottom of the page you are going to be filling out the table. Now what you will need to do is you will need to draw in the number of sweeties, you'll need to draw the 2 pence coins that represent that, and then you will need to write the multiplication equation. So in the first example, you can see that there is 1 sweet, 1 2 pence coin, and that's 1 sweet times 1 2 pence coin, which is equal to 2. In the second picture, you will notice that there are 2 sweets and there are 2 2 pence coins. So each 1 sweet equals 2 pence, okay? And the multiplication equation is what you will need to write. Now I'll do this one with you if you like. So we've got 2 sweets times 2 2 pence coins, so 2 times 2, which is equal to, it's not 2, it's 4, because remember when we're counting our 2 pence coins, you need to make sure that you count in your 2s, okay? So I hope you get on okay with today's independent task. Have fun, and as always, we are there to answer any questions that you may have through the chat box. After you finish your independent activity, you may wish to come back to this slide and discuss which equations match the array that you can see. You might be able to think of some more equations that represent the array. You can write them down and send them through to your class teacher to really show your understanding of multiplication and division. Well done for today's lesson, everybody. Keep up the good work. You are all doing absolutely fantastically well, and keep smiling. We will see you soon. Goodbye.